Jeff, we're going to 1964, Alabama against Florida. That's a Southeastern Conference game, and the Gators have always been tough, it seems like.
They were always tough when I was playing. I remember always playing them in the Tuscaloosa. I think we played them twice. But conference game, big game, anytime you play Alabama, if you're an opposing team, you're going to know you're going to get your best shot when they come in.
All right, I want to try to dispel a myth here, and I may not be able to. Alabama's coming off a big win over Tennessee the week before, and now they have another very crucial football game. How tough is it to get up and get prepared for two big games back-to-back?
As a player, it's tough. You're still on that emotional high from the previous week, but that's where the coaches come in. That's what they get their money for. It's their job to get the guys focused on the next week, try to put the game behind you, and realize, hey, we got a team coming in here that can beat us. If we don't prepare like we were preparing every week, we could get in trouble.
Are the practices maybe a little tougher to try and get that focus, get the players' attention?
I don't necessarily know if they're tougher. It's just it's more mental, and it's tough as a player to stay mentally sharp, and that's what the coaches try to get you to do.
Well, mental sharpness is needed in this one because as we go into the ball game, the Tide and the Gators undefeated. Alabama's ranked third in the country. Florida is ninth. Let's go back to 1964 and to Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa.
Joe Namath, Jim Simmons, and Hudson Harris call the toss for Bama. The Gators win and elect to receive. So David Ray kicks off this homecoming battle. The Gators return it to the 24. Sophomore Steve Spurrier's under center for the Gators. And on the very first play from scrimmage, he tosses to Larry Dupree at right end. Tim Bates and Mickey Andrews are there on the stop. Play makes 4. Dupree tries the left side and rambles out to the 36, a gain of 8 before Creed Gilmer finally tackles him. Spurrier hands it off this time, a loss of 2. He's slapped down by the left side of Alabama's defense. Dan Curley first on the scene. Toss sweep left again by Dupree. Out to the 41, Steve Sloan and John Mosley make the stop. Spurrier keeps himself at right end, gets 4 to the 45. Ron Bird and Paul Crane bring him down for Bama. Spurrier also punts for the Gators, and this one rolls dead at the Bama 9-yard line. Joe Namath runs the attack for Bama. He tries Hudson Harris up the middle. He's knocked back but gains 1. On second down, it's Steve Bowman at center. He's out to the 13. Bama decides to punt on third down. The Gators get it at their own 33 and try to come to the near side. But Creed Gilmer's there for the Tide and downs the Gators at their own 34. On Florida's first play, it's the workhorse Dupree at right guard. Curley stops him after a gain of 2. Spurrier drops back to pass. Decides to run instead, rolls out to the 48, picks up a dozen. Crane finally brings him down. Dupree again at left tackle, but Bama's there. Gilmer, Crane, and Bates combine on the stop. More good defense as Spurrier drops back. Bama with a heavy rush, and he overthrows his intended receiver. The Florida slot back takes it against the grain. It's Crane to trip him up. Bates and Gilmer close him out, a loss of 1. So Spurrier has to punt again. And again, Bama's in a hole as the ball rolls dead, this time at the 11-yard line. On first down, Bowman carries it up the middle for 5 to the 16. Bowman at center again. The ball pops free, but Namath recovers. The play loses 3 back to the 13. Third down, Bama's punting again. Buddy French kicks it. It's hauled in by the Gators at the Bama 46. Florida gets it back to the 41 before a bunch of Tidesmen knock them down. Gators go with a sweep left, forced back by Bill Tugwell, then run out of bounds at the 44, a loss of 3. Spurrier wants to pass, but Bird's there to trip him up for a loss of 3. 3rd and long for the Gators. Spurrier has to throw, but Curley is right in his face, so he throws it away downfield. For the 3rd time of the afternoon, Spurrier punts it deep. Bama has to start this time from its own 8-yard line. On first down, Bowman takes the handoff and gets 5 out to the 13. Now it's Steve blocking, and Harris picks up 2 to the 15. For the first time this afternoon, Bama goes for it on 3rd down. Namath hits Tommy Tallison on a slant end. Play makes 11 to the 26. The Tide's first down. Again, Namath to the air, this time for 17 yards to Ray Ogden. First down at the 43. Bowman goes up the middle for 4 to the 47. Harris tries the left side and gets 2 out to the 49. It's 3rd down now for the Tide. Namath rolls right, looking for the first down. Joe's hit and loses the football. Florida recovers. Even worse, Namath is gone for the day with a knee injury. From their own 47, Gators take over. Dufree dives at right tackle. Curley stops him for only 1, and we're at the end of the first quarter with no score.
So after the first 15 minutes, Alabama's in a bit of a jam. I think you're in a jam anytime your first-string quarterback goes down, particularly a guy like Namath.
Exactly, and that can have 2 effects on a ball club. That can get the team down. Their starting quarterback, if Joe Namath goes down, they get depressed, or they can say, hey, here comes Steve Sloan. Let's rally behind this guy. Let's go ahead and win. And that's exactly what happened.
I think the play also shows how a serious injury can sometimes come on a play that doesn't look all that rough. And let's look at it again. Namath, in this particular situation, just rolling out.
Just rolling out. Looked like it was run all the way. I don't even think he was looking to throw, even though you see receivers there, and just somebody hit him just right.
Hit him just right. He goes out with the injury, and when Namath went down, Steve Sloan took over at quarterback, and on the field with Sloan and Namath was Mickey Andrews, running back and defensive back then, now a coach at Florida State. Andrews will tell you very quickly that while Joe and Steve were different in a lot of ways, they were also a lot alike.
They were different in a lot of ways. Their way of life, their upbringing was totally different. Joe being from Pittsburgh, from Beaver Falls, and out in, I guess probably at that time, a Yankee, so to speak, coming south to Alabama. I mean, we thought he was from just the other side of Canada or somewhere. And then Sloan, old country boy, slow walking, slow talking guy. They were very different in coming in there, and their styles of play were different. But the thing that they had, both of them had, was that extra ingredient that you look for in being your quarterback, just like the kid that's at Alabama right now. He didn't do any. Sloan was a lot like this guy. He didn't do a lot of things fancy, but he won. You know, and that's the bottom line. It's not how many passes you complete or how many yards your offense gets, but it's whether your team won or not. And Steve was the kind of guy that his role of Clay was a little bit different than say Joe's. Joe a little more prolific passer, maybe before he got injured, maybe a little better runner, but yet they were so much alike in the way that you want them to be, and that was of being a leader, taking 11 guys and making sure that they did the things you had to do to win and be successful. And they were not different in that respect.
Hey, the next time you lock yourself out of your car, have a flat tire, run out of gas, or any of that kind of thing, you can get some help right away. Yeah, you see, your friend in the car business, Woody Anderson Ford, has got you covered with 24-hour roadside assistance. All you got to do is call 1-800-241-FORD. That's just one more reason to buy your next car or truck from Woody Anderson Ford. Tell them George sent you. I got to go. I got a flat.
With Wendy's 99-cent super value menu, you can do things you just can't do anywhere else. For instance, take a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, put it with a big order of Biggie Fries and Biggie Drink. Or replace the Junior Bacon Cheeseburger with a bowl of rich and meaty chili, and the fries with a big baked potato. Or if you like a fresh salad, choose the Caesar side salad. You know, with our 99-cent super value menu, I could do this all day. Are you with me?
Right, Dave.
Good. Now take a Frosty, a bowl of chili, and put it with a Biggie Drink.
Social Security benefits are not just for the elderly. It's also there in case you become disabled. Know your rights. If you've been denied your benefits and can no longer provide for your family, call the law firm of Davis & Goldberg, 536-2222. Their family of attorneys and assistants understand the laws surrounding Social Security and know how to get what is rightfully yours. And there's no attorney's fee unless we collect. Don't settle for less. Call the law firm of Davis & Goldberg, 536-2222, or our toll-free number.
I want to thank you for your help when we needed it most. It was a lifesaver just to know if John got sick that I could take him to a doctor. This is something that every mother fears, not being able to afford a doctor for a child, and you took that worry off of me. For that, I say thank you. We now have our own insurance company, so would you please pass your help on to someone else? With your help, Alabama's less fortunate children can get the health care that they need.
We're set to go into the second quarter of 1964's Alabama game against the Florida Gators. Joe Namath is out. He's injured. Steve Sloan takes over. And Namath got all the glory, it seems like, down through the years. Steve Sloan's not a bad college quarterback.
Steve Sloan was a great college quarterback. My hero. That's who I looked up to as I was a little kid growing up with Alabama football, was Steve Sloan.
What made him a good quarterback?
I just think he probably didn't have as much talent as these guys did, but he got the most out of it and worked hard and was a leader on the field.
Well, that's exactly what Mickey Andrews said before the break. And now we go with Namath out, Sloan in, as we go back to 1964. Denny Stadium, the Tide and the Gators.
Florida begins the second quarter at its own 46-yard line, a third down play. Spurrier back to pass, fires it over the middle to Randy Johnson at the Bama 40. It takes 3 Tide defenders to bring him down at the 39. First down, Gators. On the sweep right, Dupree shows some great moves, and Florida gets a big gain of 14 to the Bama 25. Mosley finally brings him down. John Fiebers sweeps right, runs over Andrews, who manages to hold on and bring him down just inside the 15. Now Dupree tries the left side. Curley and Gilmer bring him down after a gain of 2. Spurrier running the option right. He pitches back. It's inside the 10 before Andrews can make the tackle. On third down, Spurrier wants to go to the air, has to scramble, then finds Randy Jackson open for the touchdown. 3 minutes into the second quarter. The extra point kick is good, and Florida has a 7-0 lead. The Gators' kickoff goes to the goal line, where Wayne Trimble has a tough time picking up the ball. Finally does, but it can only get out to the 12-yard line. Steve Sloan is on for the injured Namath. He gives it to Harris, who goes around right end, out to the 17. This time, Sloan keeps it himself on the rollout and gets close to the first down, out of bounds near the 22. Less than a yard to go behind Jim Fuller and Galen McCullough. Sloan gets more than enough. First down at the 23. Les Kelly's the fullback. He goes up the middle for a couple to the 25. Sloan rolls back as if to pass, runs instead, and picks up 5 yards around left end. Bama needs 3 yards for the first down. Harris gets it, spinning his way to the 34. Kelly's hit at right guard and gains 2 more to the 36. Now, with great protection from his offensive line, Sloan rolls right, looks, finds Wayne Cook open. Cook's got it, gets by a Gator, and makes it to the 42. The first time Bama has been in Florida territory all afternoon. Again to the air. Sloan hits Ray slanting in, and he's to the 37. Bama's moving now. Watch Harris behind great blocks from Kelly and Tollison. Hudson has a first down at the Gator 32. Sloan rolls left. On the run, he throws, and his pass is incomplete. But the Tide keeps it going as Sloan drops back, looks, finds Tollison open. Tommy's got it. He takes it to the 20. Good for 12 yards and a first down. Sloan rolls right. Look at the interference run by Bowman, Harris, and Ray. Steve and the Tide are at the 13. Harris tries the heart of the Gator defense and makes only one. On third down, Hudson can't get the first down. Florida stops him at the 11. Needing just a yard, Coach Bryan decides to go for it. It's Harris following Ray and Fuller inside the 10. First and goal at the 9. Sloan rolls right, winds his way down to the 5. Now let's work the left side. Sloan finds a hole and gets to the goal line. 3rd and inches now. Bowman goes over the top, and Bama's on the board. 19 plays covering 88 yards and lasting more than 9 minutes. Ray adds the extra point. We're tied at 7 with just over 3 minutes to go till halftime. Ray kicks off again for Bama. Dupree takes it for the Gators at his own 10-yard line. Dupree runs it back almost to the 30 before the kicker, Ray, gets him by the ankle. On first down, Spurrier wants to run the option right, but John Sullivan forces him inside. Crane hits him low. The play makes 4 to the 33. This time it's Dupree trying left in. He gets around and rambles for 12 before Bates chases him down. At the 45, Spurrier's back to pass, sees some running room, and goes into Bama territory. 9 yards to the Tide 46. Now, Coach Ray Graves decides to gamble a little bit on second short. It nearly backfires as Charlie Stevens just misses the pick on the far sideline. On third down, the sweep right. Dupree gets the first. Bird and Andrews bounce him down at the 43. Spurrier wants to go downfield, but here's a lot of Bama heat, and he just throws the ball away. This time, Spurrier gets pretty good protection and lets it fly deep, but here's Frank Canterbury to intercept at the 23. He tries to return it. The officials rule his knee down at the 24, but the pick stops a Florida scoring threat. On first down, Sloan gets a nice block from Ogden, and Steve rambles 13 yards to the 37. Now Sloan fakes it to Bowman and follows him off left guard. Look at the running room. Sloan's to the Florida 44, 19 yards. Unfortunately, it's the last play of the first half. At intermission, it's Alabama 7, the Florida Gators 7.
Well, we saw Steve Sloan come through in a big way in the second quarter. This one subbing for the injured Joe Namath. I thought that Steve really came in and showed a lot of poise off the bench, and that's got to be tough.
It is tough, especially if you're not knowing when you're going to get in that ball game. And he came in, and Alabama didn't miss a beat.
Well, he led him on a very long drive. Let's take a look at some of that. Sloan, of course, was a pretty darn good passer, but we also see him making some good runs here.
Looked like a very similar play that Joe Namath got hurt on, rolling out to his right. Here, once again, just rolling left, looking to run all the way.
That gets him down close, and the patented Bowman over the top, Steve into the end zone. That takes a lot of blocking up front, I guess, but it also takes the running back just being able to leap up there and make the dive, doesn't it?
Exactly. He's just, guy's got to fire out low, and then he just goes over the top.
Well, it was a touchdown that came at the end of an 80-yard drive that took 19 plays. The 19, to me, that's one of the most beautiful things in all of college football is when a team takes it and just grinds it out and takes up so much of that clock. And it's got to be really demoralizing to the guys on the other side.
Well, guys on defense are crushed, and they're tired when they come off the field. They know they're in trouble because the team just took a ball and went the length of the field. And it keeps the ball away from the offense. And with somebody like Steve Spurrier, that's the only way to defense him. It's not to let him on the field.
Well, we're going to see Spurrier a lot more in the second half of this one. I want to go back to something you said, though. In a situation like that, everybody always says the defense gets tired because they're on the field so long. The offense was out there the same amount of time. Is the difference there because they got positive results?
I think you're right. I think it's something mental about it. They didn't even know they were out there on the field. I guarantee you, if you got to the sideline and asked them how many plays you think they ran, they would have no clue. But the defense knew. They knew they were not getting the job done.
Not getting the job done. Well, obviously some adjustments being made at halftime as the homecoming queen is crowned before the Denny Stadium crowd. We'll be back for the third quarter of this football game in just a moment.
The 94 closeout sale is in progress now at Champion Chevrolet OCO in Athens. Take advantage of the remaining 94s at the low prices you expect this time of year. But the difference at Champion is the people you deal with. A team committed to provide you with the best treatment and the most help you ever had in car shopping. So along with the big savings, you get the bonus of a dealership you can really depend on. Come see us today at Champion Chevrolet OCO, Highway 72 in Athens.
If you've been hurt on the job, any job, you should be talking to Gilbert and Montlick.
Injured by a product at work or at home? Gilbert and Montlick can help you, too.
If you've been hurt in an automobile accident, this is no time to go it alone.
If you've been injured in any type of accident, call Gilbert and Montlick attorneys for your free phone consultation. Our experience pays. Call us first.
Call Gilbert and Montlick at 1-800-LAW-NEED.
Hey, bargain hunters. It's Van Wachtel, Ford Lincoln Mercury in Athens. If you really want a great family car, choose from one of these fine 93 Ford Tempest for only $89.50 or the world-class 93 Ford Taurus for only $12.9. Now, I'm not talking about one or two cars, but a display lot full of extra clean, factory-programmed Tempos and Tauruses. The key here is that there's only one price, but you get to choose the color and the options you want. One price, you choose the color. Remember, there's only one place, and that's Van Wachtel, Ford Lincoln Mercury in Athens.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
You are about to embark upon the Great Crusade. We will accept nothing less than full victory.
I have a dream.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
American Heritage Magazine, the diary of the American way of life. From our greatest dreams to our worst nightmares, our struggles and our triumphs, our heroes and our villains. And now you can get your free trial issue of American Heritage without obligation. So call now. When the bill arrives, pay $29.95, a savings of almost 40% off the newsstand price. Or write cancel across the invoice and owe nothing. With your paid subscription, you'll receive free the special publication Civil War Chronicles and the celebrated travel issue. American Heritage Magazine.
Call 1-800-249-8500.
Monday.
I think you ran over Michael. Now you're trying to pin it on Sydney.
Matt exposes Kimberly's secret.
You're a dead man, Fielding.
Sydney faces her worst nightmare.
I want to make you my girlfriend, Sydney.
And the one person more scheming than Amanda returns.
Daddy.
To Melrose Place, an all-new episode. Then, growing up is tough. Try doing it without parents.
If I don't tell them who did it, they said they're going to kick me off the team.
Party of 5.
Monday night beginning at 7 on Fox 54.
Kane teams up with some old friends.
Name's Afute.
On the next Kung Fu, the legend continues.
Monday night at 9 on Fox 54.
We're going to the second half of this football game. Let's hope that Alabama will get better field position because in the first half, the Tide averaged starting at the 13-yard line and only once started outside the 20. Jeff, that's got to be just awfully tough for an offense.
It is, and it limits what you can do because you don't want to turn the ball over in your own end, so you're not going to take chances. And I think what we saw in the first half, they were sprinting the quarterback out a lot, think he had receivers out there to throw to, but pretty much in the quarterback's mind was looking to run because they didn't want to turn the ball over.
In the quarterback's mind, in the coach's mind, too, on the sidelines, he's trying to be very, very conservative as well because I guess that's the mistake there can be deadly.
Oh, definitely. If you turn the ball over in your own end, then you're going to set yourself up for them to score points. And you just hope throughout the course of the game, if your defense is playing well and they're not scoring, that you're going to get some field position at some point.
Well, it is going to happen, thankfully, here in the second half, and let's get to it. The third quarter of Alabama and Florida, 1964, Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa.
In the second half, Bama gets it first. Ray Ogden gathers it in at the 3-yard line and brings it all the way out to the 30. It's the best field position to start a drive this afternoon for Alabama. On first down, Sloan tries to roll out left. The Gator defender grabs the face mask. Unfortunately, nothing's called. The play makes only 2. This time, Sloan tries the right side. There's a hole. He picks up 7 to the 39. On third down, Sloan fakes out the cameraman, but not the Gators. They drop him back at the 38. So French comes on to punt it away for the tie. The Gators take it at their own 22 and set up the wall on the near sideline. And for a while, Florida has some running room. Fuller finally drags the return man down. Gators in good position at their own 39. The sweep right doesn't work as well as it did in the first half. Collison fights off a blocker and holds Florida to only a yard. On second down, Spurrier tries to toss it. It bounces off his fullback. Quarterback recovers. No gain. Possession down for the Gators. Spurrier goes up top and finds lonesome end Charlie Casey open. Plays good for 22 yards and a first down at the Bama 38. Here comes Dupree on the sweep again. He goes around right end for 6 yards. Stevens stops him at the 32. Spurrier can't find anybody to toss it to. Keeps up the middle. Sandwiched by Gilmer and Sullivan. 3rd and 1 now. Sullivan breaks through to stop Dupree for no gain. Too far for a field goal. Gators go for it on 4th down. Spurrier on the quarterback sneak gets just a yard, but that's enough. First down at the Bama 28. From there, it's Dupree on the sweep left, but he's mauled by Bates, Gilmer, and a gang of Bama tacklers. Inside the 25, Spurrier on the toss to Dupree. Bates drags him down at the 21. On 3rd down, the Florida quarterback rolls left to pass. Can't find anybody open, so he runs it himself. McCullough and Gilbert stop him short of a first down. 4th and just over a yard to go. Spurrier goes with a straight handoff to Fever. He gets the first down and more to the Bama 14. Spurrier rolls right, and here comes Bama. Sullivan and Frankie McClendon dropping for a loss of 1 to the 15. Spurrier rolls out again, looking to pass, and finds his receiver inside the Bama 10. Bates and Ray make him pay. From the 8, Spurrier scrambles, finds an opening, and goes to the Bama 2. Crane blocks him off his feet. 1st and goal at the 2. Gator line opens a huge hole on the left side. John Fever steps through it to the end zone, capping a 15-play, 61-yard drive. Extra point kick is good. The Gators are back on top, 14-7. On the kickoff, Ogden takes it for Bama at his 3-yard line. And Ray returns it 26 yards out to the 29. On first down, Sloan gives it to Harris, who picks up 3 up the middle. Now here comes a good one for Bama fans. Sloan rolls out. With a Gator defender hanging on, he gets his pass away, complete to Cook. He takes it out of bounds at the 44, 12 yards on the play. On first down, Sloan tries a quick pass to Ogden, but it's underthrown. So on second down, Sloan goes with a toss sweep right. The toss to Kelly. He gets 11 yards and a first down at the Florida 35. Again, Bama tries the quick pass. Again, it's incomplete. On second down, the option comes left. Sloan keeps it for 4 to the 41. Possession down for the Tide. Sloan fakes up the middle, rolls right, looks downfield, and finds Ray Perkins open at the 25. Nice catch by Perkins, 16 yards and a big Bama first down. Bowman on the quick toss right. He gets 2 to the 23. Now the offense begins to break down. A broken play. Sloan has to eat the ball back at the 27. So it's 3rd and 12 for Bama with plenty of time. Sloan looks downfield, fires. It's intercepted by the Gators' Jack Card inside the 20. He brings it back out to the 28 as the third quarter ends with Florida still on top of Bama, 14-7.
In the third quarter of this football game, the offensive star definitely Steve Spurrier, the Gator quarterback. He was later to win the Heisman Trophy, and we could see why in this his sophomore year, a truly great college quarterback.
I was impressed because he is a sophomore, and the composure that he had out on that field and to make the plays when they weren't there, his scrambling ability, his throwing ability, puts a lot of pressure on defense.
Well, let's watch Spurrier in action. You talked about his scrambling ability. He's going to make a couple of good runs here. No, this is a pass on the first one, but a scramble there.
Exactly. He sprinted out, wanted to get the ball downfield, and then dumped it to his back at the last minute. And here, same type play to the left, but was nowhere to go and just turned it up and ran.
Well, he sets up his running back for the touchdown, and it enables the Gators to get into the football game. The defense against a guy like that, Spurrier's just got to drive a defense crazy.
He does, because you don't know what you would rather him do. Do you want him to throw or do you want him to run? And defenses come off that field tired after playing with him.
Well, one of the guys on the defensive side of the football for Alabama was Paul Crane. Now, Crane had to follow a number 54 that's pretty darn good at the university, a guy named Leroy Jordan. And Paul has a great story about the day he first wore jersey number 54.
Well, Leroy was, as everybody knows, was one of the great players in Alabama's history, and may have been the great player. I don't know. Certainly was the great linebacker. And when I was going out began my my freshman spring, which begins your sophomore year, nobody knew who was wearing what jersey or anything. We were just freshmen going out there and scared and everything. And so Willie Meadows, who was equipment man at that time, no, it wasn't Willie, it was another gentleman, gave me number 54. Well, I took number 54. I thought that was a nice number to get because Leroy had worn it and done so well with it. And but I didn't have a number or anything, so it didn't matter that much to me, except it was nice that I felt good about getting that number, yes. So as I was going out on the field, Coach Bryant was there, and I'd put the number, and I was going out there, and so he said, he looked at me and he said, "What are you doing with that number on?" So of course it appeared it was my fault for having the number, which I had nothing to do with getting the number. So I told him, "Well, Coach, equipment man just gave me this number." And like I said, I wasn't sure he wasn't going to take it off of me there, and he was. I don't know that he wasn't thinking of retiring a number, or I just don't know. But so he told me to. He said, "Well, go back there and get another number," which is a little embarrassing to me. But I turned and started going back, and then he stopped me and he said, "No," he said, "leave it on." And I think right there he changed his mind about if he was going to retire it or not retire it or what. And but it was certainly a memory that I have that like I say, I didn't know if I was going to get to take it off or he was going to take it off of me.
Hey, the next time you lock yourself out of your car, have a flat tire, run out of gas, or any of that kind of thing, you can get some help right away. Yeah, you see, your friend in the car business, Woody Anderson Ford, has got you covered with 24-hour roadside assistance. All you got to do is call 1-800-241-FORD. That's just one more reason to buy your next car or truck from Woody Anderson Ford. Tell them George sent you. I got to go. I got a flat.
Thinking about a new career? Something with a real future? At Virginia College at Huntsville, the future is now. Let Virginia College prepare you for a rewarding career in electronics or computer technology. Plus, classes are now available in legal or medical office administration, computerized accounting management, and office automation. Day and evening classes, job placement assistance, and financial aid to those who qualify. Call today and find out how easy it is to start your new career at Virginia College at Huntsville.
So right in front of me is Reggie Miller, and I says, "What's up with all the Wheaties Honey Gold?" And he's like, "Well, it tastes great, plus it's got a fourth less sugar than Frosted Flakes." And I says, "Wow, that's big time." And he said, "Where you been, Antarctica?" I said, "No."
This is breakfast big time. When Pop Secret pops, it's everything but secret. Once that rich, buttery aroma gets out, everyone wants in. Pop Secret popcorn, so irresistible you can't keep it a secret.
Danny DeVito is back as Homer's long-lost half-brother. The Simpsons.
Monday at 5:30 on Fox 54. The family business goes belly up.
Hey, we're taking our money elsewhere.
That was their suggestion. On the next, Roseanne. Monday at 6 on Fox 54.
Crimson Tide fans, you can now have your own video collection of Bama's greatest games. 5 of this year's greatest games are available. The 1962 Georgia game, the 1967 Sugar Bowl featuring Coach Bryant, the 1971 game at 7 Cal, the 1973 Tennessee game, and the 1981 battle with Auburn. Bama's greatest games, a must for your video library. Available October 15th at Hibbett Sporting Goods, Books A Million, Bookland, and other fine retailers.
After 3 quarters, Alabama's behind the Florida Gators, and they're behind at home, too, at Denny Stadium. You guys are not ever supposed to lose at Denny Stadium, are you?
You're not, especially on homecoming. But I think what you're going to see is Alabama come back and get fired up and ready to play here. But playing in Denny Stadium was a place that you didn't think you were going to get beaten. And when you are behind like that, it does something to your mind. But I think playing at Alabama, you're expected to win at home. You're expected to win big games, and that's what happened.
I want to talk a little bit about that confidence factor. You were expected to. Did you then know that you were going to win in that kind of situation?
I don't think if you ever knew for sure if you were going to win, but you really thought you had a lot of confidence when you went out there and just felt all along that something was going to happen during this game to turn things around.
Well, you sound like a lot like another guy. This Bama football team was confident about winning the game. After all, it was going to go on and win the 1964 National Championship. A key member was Mickey Andrews, and he told me that the reason he came to Alabama was to win a national championship.
When you went to Alabama, you went there for that reason, because you know, number one, that the things that he demanded, you know, I can still sit here and now demanding that you do the little things well, and we've kind of adopted the same type philosophy. We try to coach very similar. But I guess more than anything, you learn how to keep from losing. Coach Bryant was very big on that, and all of his staff. Coach Stallings, he was my position coach, secondary coach my senior year. And in fact, I think he left after that year to go to be the head coach at Texas A&M, I believe it was. But I think more than anything, it was you learned how to prepare. And the preparation was of the intensity and at the level that you not only expected to win, but you knew it was going to happen. And because nobody outworked you, nobody outprepared you. And nobody did the little things as well as, and still was able to do it with class and pride that Coach Bryant demanded that be in the program.
Let's see how Andrews and the Tide overcame a very big hurdle on its way to that 1964 national championship as we go to the 4th quarter of Alabama and Florida.
Starting the final quarter, Florida's Bieber goes off right guard. Crane's there for the Tide. Call it a gain of 3. Next up, it's Bates shooting the gap to sack Spurrier back at the 25. So the Gators decide to kick it away. Spurrier punts to Mosley at the 29. Johnny cuts upfield. Andrews on a great block wipes out 2 Gators. And Johnny hauls it all the way to the Florida 34. 37 yards on the return and great field position for Bama. On first down, McCullough and Wayne Freeman open a hole for Bowman. He bruises his way down to the 30. Now, this one's a beauty. Fuller and McClendon open the hole on the left side. Bowman blasts through, and Steve races 30 yards. Pulls away from a tackler at the goal line. Bowman for the touchdown. Ray kicks the extra point, and Bama's tied with the Gators at 14. 12:57 left in the game. Ray kicks it off for the Tide. The Florida 5 yards deep. The Gators decide to run it out, only to stop themselves at their own 19. On first down, the quick toss right to Dupree behind Spurrier's block. He picks up 4 to the 23. Beaver tries inside, then outside, but Bama's there to stop him. Curley and Bird on the tackle. On third down, Spurrier fires it upfield, complete to Casey. Out of bounds at the 40. It's good for 16 yards and a first down. This time, Spurrier rolls out right, and Sullivan gets him for the Tide. A gain of 3. Now it's Beaver right up the gut. He picks his way for 5 yards to the 48. A couple of plays later, Florida at the Bama 41, second short. Crane and Sullivan stop Beaver for less than a yard. So it's third and short from just inside the 40. This time it's Sullivan and Gilmer who stop Dupree for no gain, and the Gators are forced to punt. On the kicking situation, Bama gets a break. Spurrier's punt rolls into the end zone. It's coming out to the 20. First down, 80 yards away from a score. Here comes Bowman again, running over Gators for 9 yards to the 29. Now Sloan options right. The toss to Bowman. A great block from Harris. Bowman rambles for 10 yards and a first down at the 39. Bowman for the third time in a row, 3 yards to the 42. The Steves together again. Sloan with a pitch to Bowman around left end, 4 more yards for the Tide. Third down now. Sloan rolling out to the near sideline. Gators are chasing him, but Steve's still looking. Still looking. Finally, he spots Wayne Cook waving for him. Steve fires it to Cook. He fakes one tackler, then drags another. Winds up with a 20-yard gain to the Gator 34. Kelly follows Harris behind Ron Derby's great block. Play goes for 6 yards to the Florida 28. Sloan takes it up the middle, rolls around left end. He picks up 6 and a first down at the 22. Kelly cuts his way at center for 5 more to the 17. And now Kelly for 6 more yards down to the Gator 11. First down from there. Harris gets only a yard at left tackle. Now it's Sloan on the option. The toss to Kelly. Les cuts inside and gets down to the Gator 4. Sloan really wants a touchdown, but he just misses Harris at the goal line. So on comes Ray to attempt the field goal. French holding. He kicks it through, a 20-yarder, and Bama has the lead for the first time at 17-14, just over 3 minutes to go. But this one's not over yet. Gators down the kickoff in the end zone, so they'll have it at their own 20-yard line. Spurrier goes up top immediately. It's good for 16 yards to a first down at the 36. Spurrier again wants to go to the air. He's chased, but gets away. A great pass to Dupree. He's got it. Out of bounds at the Bama 45. Play covers 19 yards. Showing the form, it'll win him the Heisman Trophy 2 years later. Spurrier throws a perfect pass to Casey. He has it at the Bama 25. Time for a big defensive play now. Spurrier back to pass. Sullivan's there to sack him back at the 30. The clock's rolling. Spurrier gets the Gators ready. Drops back to pass. In the face of a great rush by Mike Hopper, he hits his receiver. Off on a 17-yard gain all the way to the Bama 13. Collison puts the pressure on for the Tide this time. Spurrier forced to run right into the arms of Curley at the 13. Now Spurrier wants to throw for the end zone, but again he sees pressure coming. Runs and is caught by Curley and Simmons, but he's down to the Tide 6. Third down. Gilbert hits Don Knapp in the backfield. Bates and Crane drop him at the 9. Last play of the game. Jimmy Hall going to try to tie it. Under a great Bama rush, he gets the kick away. It's wide to the left. Bama holds on to its undefeated record on the way to a national championship. The final, Alabama 17, Florida 14.